All right. Hello, everyone. We made it. Everything's working. Let's cross our fingers it stays working. How is everyone tonight? I know, yay! It's been quite the week. I've had to go back to Google Chrome, which I got rid of Google Chrome quite a while back because it was doing bad things and using Firefox, and apparently now Firefox doesn't like me. Except that with eBay stuff, I have to use Firefox because Google Chrome doesn't see descriptions. Oh, it's crazy. Computers, they're evil. I swear, it's a conspiracy amongst them. They hate us, but we make them work anyway. So it's really good to be here. We're going to kind of talk about what we were going to talk about last week and combine it with what I had set to talk about this week because there is like gobs and gobs of stuff to talk about. Um, Gosh, let's see. Where do we start? Some of you may have noticed, actually a lot of you noticed, that there is the ability to RSVP for the shows ahead of time, and that way Spreecast will send you reminders, so you don't have to watch for our reminders. And I saw that a lot of you took advantage of that, so I'm going to stay up on things and make sure these shows are scheduled out in advance, and then you can just RSVP, and that way you never forget a show. So yeah, so a lot of you guys did that. It's awesome. Thank you. Let's see, what do we need to talk about? So we were going to talk about refunds and returns last week because January is just, that's kind of the month for those things to happen. I got to tell you, it's not happening this year, at least to me. Now, I got it last year quite a bit. But I'm not seeing it this year, and I gauge it more by the Amazon FBA, the fulfillment by Amazon sales, than I do the eBay stuff because eBay stays kind of consistent with the returns, refunds kind of thing. But with Amazon, I've only had a couple of things returned after the holiday season, which is kind of unusual. So what has your experience been? You guys been getting returns? And yeah, let's knock on wood. I don't have any. Oh wait, I have some wood. Okay, knocked on wood. So how are you guys doing? Two returns, two returns. Yeah, so is it lighter than last year, are you finding? No returns, good. None here. Yeah, so maybe people are starting to get the hang of this whole buying online thing and realizing that they should probably want to keep what it is they buy. I don't know. Just saying. But good deal. So I did want to take a minute though because I have noticed over on the Facebook group, the Danni App group, that some of you, when you do get a return, it just ruins your whole week. And it is this enormous problem, and I'm hoping you guys can get to a point where you can let those things like just brush off you as just a part of doing business, and you deal with it and you move on and you get your crazy good sales and it's a thing of the past. When I get those things that come up, and they always come up, I mean, it is the nature of the business we're in. You cannot make everybody happy. People are going to want to return stuff. Man, I get them refunded, hopefully, usually, without having to return the item, because usually it's a breakage issue. If it is something where it's an expensive item and it's still resaleable and I make them send it back, I try to make that as painless as possible for them. You know, you kind of like bend over backwards with the apologies. Even if you know it was their screw up, you still just like, the customer's always right, because that's what that means. Not that they are, just that you have to make them think they are. And you get the item back and you resell it. If it's something that's broken, gosh, no sense in making them send it back. In fact, you don't want them to send it back because then they're going to want their return shipping, and you don't want back a broken item. So I usually just will have them send me a picture, prove it's broken, refund. If I self-insured, it's done. It's over. I move on. If it's an insurance issue, I file the claim, whatever has to be done. But I don't let it ruin my whole day or my whole week. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, returns suck, but they are part of business. So we just have to deal with them and move on. So, but it has been a much lighter year, so that's a good thing. So, what I did have on tap to talk about tonight is inventory issues. Okay, is there anybody in my chat room who can honestly say they have nothing backlogged to list, that everything they have is listed? I want to see if anybody's brave enough to raise a hand. I'm getting laughter. That's what I thought. Because let's face it, the fun part of this business is the shopping. Hey, I confess, it is my weakness. I love to go buy stuff. Love, love, love. Ask my husband how much I love to go buy stuff. Wait, did he sneak into the chat room yet tonight? No, good. Okay, we can talk then. Yes. So, I know it is so fun to go shopping, whether it's auctions or thrift stores or yard sales or wherever it is you go shopping. The shopping is the absolute funnest part of this business. But it's also can turn into the overwhelming part, the part that gets you unmotivated to do anything, the part that weighs you down, that turns your house into what the UPS driver thinks is a hoarder. Yes, I'll tell you that story in a minute. Because we get so much stuff because you come home with more stuff than you're listing. I mean, it's like it's just physics, you know? More coming in than you get listed going out, you're going to get an overload. So I'm in this boat with you, totally in this boat with you. So my answer has been to start looking for better stuff. I mean, bottom line, I have determined that I want my average selling price to be no less than $50. So now when I'm out shopping, sourcing, now what I do is I just get a lot pickier about the stuff that I'm putting in my cart or, you know, buying at the yard sale. It's got to be worth at least $50, or at least have the potential to be worth at least $50. I know, and it's easier said than done. But if you watch the shows like American Pickers, The Market Warriors, what do you notice about what they're doing and how they're picking? As American Pickers especially, what do you guys like watch them put stuff back down that you and I both know would sell for pretty decent money? And I'm talking like, you know, between the $25 to $50 range. All the time. They put stuff back all the time. They are so picky about what it is they actually spend their money on and take away. And they're going for those big profit margin items. Except for like Ratnip. I'm waiting to see how that one pans out. Did you guys see that episode? Where he wanted all that Ratnip? That was crazy. Seeing if anybody saw that. Yeah, it's true. Some of the stuff they don't even price, you know, as high as we do. We're like, hey, if I was selling that on eBay, I'd get a lot more than that. But they are extremely picky and they stick with their niche, which is mostly like their motorcycle parts and their signs and their oil can. I mean, you could probably pick out the things that they like to buy. Yeah, Howard, on this one of the last episodes, there was a pick they were doing, and the guy had all this new old stock, which is basically an old vintage item that is still new, you know, like it came off of the store shelf. And this guy had Ratnip, and it was cool packaging, and and it had the rat on it. I think it was rat poison. And Frankie, one of the pickers, was really enamored with it. So they negotiated and got him all this rat. So it was just, I don't know. It was one of those things he just wanted. So I am determined now, as I'm going through and buying things, to just be really, really, my goal ultimately is to get to where nothing in my store sells for under $100. Because then every time that ka-ching goes off on my phone, I know it's at least $100 bill. That's the goal. I'm not there yet. I'm not there, but it helps to have that in mind as I'm out shopping, because I'll put a lot of stuff down. A lot of stuff down. I don't know if they sell on eBay. I've been wanting to kind of figure that out. Yeah, go see. Um, so the other thing that I have come to the conclusion is, even though something will sell for a good price, if I don't enjoy writing it up and listing it, what am I doing with it? I mean, for me, my nemesis is clothing. I do not like to list clothing. I never have, but yet oh, you should see my stack of bins with great clothing to sell, because I can shop it, I can find it, and I just don't like to list it. So I am going to be cutting clothing out of my store. I'm just not going to deal with it. It's not like I am hurting for inventory, so there's no reason for me to sell something that I don't enjoy. And I would say, unless you guys are really, really hurting for stuff to sell, why are you selling stuff that you don't like selling? Yes, we do this to make money, but I think, and I think I speak for a lot of us here, if not most of us here, that we started selling on eBay because it's fun too, right? Am I right? Let's see. Is there anybody who's selling on eBay because it's not fun? I mean, there's a gazillion things we can do to make money. And I know for me, eBay started out as a hobby. It started out as a hobby because it was fun. And it turned into something that was also lucrative and supports my shopping habit. I mean, I think that's how a lot of us get started. And then a lot of us figure out it's a great way to supplement our incomes, if not make our entire income. And that's what I love about it, is you can make it whatever you need it to be. But for me, it needs to be fun. And it can be fun. And it is fun if we don't let ourselves get weighed down with parts of it that are not fun. And yeah, okay, so there's always going to be pieces and parts that aren't fun. A lot of us don't like the whole shipping thing. Although the gal that I used to work with in the antique store thought that shipping was really fun. So, um, so we have to do it, but you can also get to a point where you can hire an assistant to help with that stuff that's not fun. I have a girl who's actually, she's the nanny for my kids after school. She comes in and takes care of my kids for me after school, and she does shipping for me. Works out great. I've actually been teaching her to start writing stuff up for me too, so that works good. Debbie's asking if I use a scanner or something to determine if an item is going to be worth buying. Sometimes. For the most part, I go with kind of my gut. When I'm looking at estate sales or auctions where there's a preview online and pictures and that kind of thing, I'll do more research on that, because I want to buy those target items that I can spend a little bit more on to make bigger profits. So the bigger the risk, the more I research. That's kind of how I do it. But other than that, I go kind of on gut and instinct that I've developed over the years I've been doing this, and kind of just going with how attractive is a piece going to be to somebody, and what would they have paid originally for this item. So it's not always about it needing to be something that's old or vintage. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people pay crazy high prices for just because it's cool looking. And and you can go down to TJ Maxx and pull it off the shelf for 20 bucks, take it home and sell it on eBay for 50 or 60 because of, what it looks like. So it's just a matter of really figuring out your um, level of comfort and how much you want to risk and spend. It used to be for me, I'd standard $5. $5 was about the most I'd want to risk on something. And I've worked my way up over the years. Now I'll drop $100 bill if I know that I'm going to be able to at least double my money. Like, I'll do that in a heartbeat now, because I've worked myself up to that level. So I didn't just do that blindly. There was a lot of research involved. And um, one of the things we do in the Danni Appsters, the behind the scenes membership, is we do a lot of that. We do a lot of previewing auctions and estate sales and deciding what's worth taking bigger risks. And the really great thing now with Facebook and all that is it's a lot less risky than it used to be because there's so many people now willing to help out and go. And smartphones, oh yeah, smartphones are awesome. The eBay app is free, so you can look stuff up and you can see what's sold. And then if you're selling on Amazon and using the fulfillment by Amazon, now I no longer use a scanning program for that. I did when I started out, but I don't. I just use the free Amazon app and I look at price, competition, and rank. Those are the three things you need to be concerned with, because on Amazon, the general rule of thumb is you want to be able to get triple of what you paid for it, and preferably over $10. So I don't send anything into Amazon anymore that's going to sell for less than $10 because it's just not worth the time it takes. So I'm kind of keeping up with you guys over in the chat. Got to talk to you and still read the boards. Multitasking. So, and April's got my email address up there on the board, but really the best place to get a hold of me and find me and have me take a look at something if you bought it is over either on the Facebook group. Well, really, that's the best place, is the Facebook group, the Danni App group, and maybe we'll get April to put the URL up for that for those that aren't in the group. That is open to pretty much anybody. And then the members of the Danni App actually have a private group where we go even a little bit more intense into things, which is really fun. Yep. Yes, and don't price your stuff too cheap. I've got to tell you, I am so proud of the Appsters. As you know, on the 20th, eBay announces the new round of top-rated sellers and power sellers and such, and they announced it, I believe, on Friday. We had about half a dozen of the Appsters reach that status, so yay! Higher price stuff and doing things like adding the free shipping and stuff in there and bumping the price up even more. Awesome stuff. So let's see. How many of you guys are ready for your taxes this year? Ooh, nobody is typing anytime fast. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, me neither, okay? But I am really happy to have a service like outright.com so that when I do get into tax prep mode, all I have to do is go over there and print out my Schedule C. It's already done. So this is a great time of year to get into outright.com. They still have a free service, but the paid version, oh my gosh, you guys, if you were to go hire an accountant to do that work, it would cost you way more than $10 a month, which is about what I think actually Outright is like $8 a month. It's crazy how inexpensive it is for what you get. So highly recommend outright.com. Highly recommend. And we had a question about the use of it in Canada for my Canadian viewers. And you can utilize A lot of what Outright has with Canadian eBay incorporating all that, but they don't utilize the Canadian dollar yet. But there's a lot of it you can use, so I would recommend the free version for those in Canada, as they are working up to adding that in. They'll have that one day, I'm sure. So not the perfect answer, but that's what they gave me. So who's ready for a little score of the week? We got some good ones. Real quick, a new little something that eBay has thrown at us that you might have figured out is they are no longer showing us what an item sold for on a best offer. I have mixed emotions about this. For us as sellers, it kind of sucks when we're doing our research, because we kind of count on those numbers. But as sellers, I know a lot of people were kind of complaining that those prices were showing up and they didn't like that potential customers were seeing how low they were willing to go on items. So I know this is a product of the outcry of the eBay community to not have customers seeing how much things had sold for on best offer, but to see what the asking price was. So we kind of got what we asked for, but of course now for research purposes we have to use other tools to kind of dig in there and kind of use some of our own gut instinct then when we do see things sold and know that they were best offer, and kind of figure out, geez, just how low was this seller willing to go. I believe, yeah, the Terapeak data ties right into the eBay, the API, which has all of that pricing information. So Terapeak is still going to get the real information, no doubt about it. So jury's out. I have some questions into some of my contacts at eBay to find out where this is going, what's going to be available to us as sellers, and we may have no choice but to use a service like Terapeak or WorthPoint. And by the way, WorthPoint gets their information from Terapeak. Just FYI. Terapeak is the only service that has access to that API, and then they farm it out to these other services. Just little point of interest there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of turns out. But as you know, you can always ask over on the Danni App group, and I am sure somebody with one of those services can tell you what something went for. All right, so let's get to this. Okay, Sherry Smith, she always gets the greatest stuff, and she is the Disney queen. For those of you who have not kind of followed her scores, and through the week and on Sundays she posts about her great Disney stuff is gold. I am telling you, Disney stuff will never stop selling. There are so many collectors of Disney, and you know why there's so many collectors of Disney stuff? Because when you visit Disneyland or Disney World, it strikes so many emotions and good memories and just gives people the warm fuzzies. And so they want to recreate that with getting these collectible items that either are something that they had when they were a kid or bought when they were at one of the amusement parks, or just remind them of their favorite Disney movie or something. Yeah, where dreams come true. I grew up a Disney kid. I grew up in Orange County, California. We went to Disneyland every year. Yes, absolutely. Disney stuff just has a place in the psyche that just brings up all these warm feelings. And there are thousands and thousands of people in the same boat. So Disney, and all of its genius, has really been a marketing phenomena and all the stuff that they've created to get people collecting. I mean, everything from the trading pins to the figurines to clothing and accessories and oh my gosh, plush and yeah. And think about this. I'm always looking for Disney plush, the genuine uh, amusement park, specific stuff. Because think of this. You travel, across the country to take your kids to Disneyland, get them this really special plush thing that you paid probably $60 or $70 for. And you get home, and a week later, the kid loses it, or the dog eats it, or something really bad happens. The kid is inconsolable. At this point, money is no object. You are going to go and find that plush thing to get your child happy again. So that's why it ain't about the money when those parents want to go and find that item that got lost or damaged. So Sherry found this jewelry box at a yard sale for $10. Item number 1408 2341 2466. And it's funny because you look at this and it doesn't look like anything that special. Just kind of looks like a generic looking jewelry box. So anybody see what she got for that lovely little item? Let's see, I'm waiting for the reaction in the chat room as you guys go look. Oh, by the way, we are working on this. Will happen in the next week or two. We are going to get these showing on the screen right here so you don't have to go someplace else and go look. Yay! There we go. The wows and the crazies. $225. Score! Now, Sherry, did you know it was worth quite that much when you bought it? Or you just thought it was a good item that you could, maybe triple or quadruple your money? Let's see what she says, because she's in our chat room. Still looking. She's probably typing. She's typing us an answer. Okay, so she says she didn't know at first, and she had it at $400 since nobody else had one listed, and then she took the offer for $225. Excellent strategy. If nobody else has the item that you have, price that sucker through the moon and let somebody make you an offer, because I bet that buyer thinks, I got that thing for about half price. They're ecstatic. Sherry's happy. Everybody's happy. Love it. Okay. Then we have, many of you know my daughter is Jennifer Klebick, who she doesn't post on the boards too often. But she shared a few scores. These were actually shared last week that we were supposed to talk about on the show. And I wanted to kind of tell you guys because I was actually with her when we bought these. I did this shopping trip with her. The first one was this cool looking toilet paper holder guy. Item number 121032 871181. So we went to this yard sale, and this guy had some pretty cool stuff. He had a lot of he had die-cast toys and Hot Wheels, that kind of stuff, and then a few kind of eclectic pieces thrown here and there. We bought from that yard sale, I'm trying to think, we bought this toilet paper guy, and I got a piece of art that I have listed, haven't sold yet because I priced it high. And there was one other thing that but we saw the toilet paper holder guy first. We saw him, we loved him, but he had kind of a high price on him. I think he wanted $25, which wasn't outrageous, but it was more than we wanted to spend. So we shopped around and we found a few different things that were priced right. So we did the whole little, make a pile thing. I got the piece of artwork for $20. I think I have that price at around $300 in my store. And so we ended up talking him down to $15 on the toilet paper guy. And he sold for $75. And again, this was one of those, eye appeal things. Not great quality. Not, I mean, it was just something funny. And somebody's going to see stuff like that in your store and go, "Oh my gosh, I got to have it." And price isn't really the issue. It's just a matter of, do they have an extra, $75 laying around that they can buy a toilet paper guy. So that was fun. On that same shopping trip, we went to this other yard sale and we got this skin, I believe this was a skin whitening set, and item number 1109 5882 4121. And I'm trying to remember, I think we paid $10 for this one. And we bought several things at this. This is where my daughter got the Roomba too for 20 bucks. So she got a Roomba for 20 bucks. She got a Lennox Winnie the Pooh ornament, I believe, for $1. Few other little odds and ends and things, and then she got this whitening kit for 10 bucks, and it sold for $89.95. $89.95. And she sold that Lennox piece, I think, for about 30, I want to say $30. So she made some pretty good money off of that one little stop there. And the Roomba sold for 200, I believe, 199.95 or something like that. So yeah, that was a good stop. And then this was something that I wrestled with her because I really wanted this for my daughter, but the prices they were going for, I told her, I said, "You know what? Price it high. If it sells, great. If not, I'll get it from you for Rachel's birthday." But it sold for full price. This was a fur real butterscotch pony, the smaller one, not the big giant life-size one. Item number 1109 9784 6869. This sold for $164.95. $164.95. She got this at her local Goodwill. She has the best Goodwill store. Oh my gosh. This store, I think they're getting like Toys R Us, some kind of returns or overstocks or something, but these are like new in the package toys. They haven't been taken out, so it's not like they've been returned as not working. They've just been returned, maybe have a little damage on the box or something. We found so much of this stuff at her Goodwill, and they consistently get it. So they have a contract somewhere that they're getting this stuff, and she scoops it up. And it's kind of her niche too, is baby and kids toys and equipment and stuff. So she's having fun, and it's funny because this girl would not shop in thrift stores. And she just insisted that there was nothing to be found in those thrift stores. And some of you may have seen the little YouTube video I did on that shopping trip where the cart was like overflowing with stuff that I found at this one Goodwill store. She's like, "Okay, I'm shopping there now." But now she consistently finds stuff. And she recently, as you guys know, my granddaughter is 4 months old now, and she needed one of those little exercise, basically a place you stick the kids so you can get some work done kind of things, you know? I know, April knows what I'm talking about. So she had been looking, and they were priced crazy high everywhere she looked. And this one was $30, brand new in the box. It's one of the ones that sells for about $89.95 over on Amazon. So she's very happy. She is utilizing that now so she can get some work done. Yay! Here's one that I sold this week. This is item number, oh, here it is. Okay. I thought, gosh, I didn't write down my own item number. 3604 9701 5812. This is a studio art piece. By studio art, that's usually an independent artist who has created their own kind of style, and this is called studio art because they generally sell this in galleries, and they don't actually they're not out there like as a name such as Fenton or, you know, one of the big names. So it's Studio Art Glass. This is contemporary stuff. This is made within the last, you know, 10, 15 years. His name is Michael Nourot. I'm not sure how you say that. It's Nourot. They had 3 pieces of this at the auction when I went, and I knew I was after it. And the first one that I bid on, I got this. This was it. I got this for $100, and I was just thrilled beyond belief that I'd pick this up for $100. And the next 2 pieces, I don't know, the audience kind of woke up and they paid close to $300 a piece for them. So I couldn't get those, but I snagged this one. And I just recently took a best offer of $325. And we went back and forth a couple times because his original offer was $250, which still I would have made good money. But I was not quite ready to go quite that low. And so I came back at $350. He came back at $325. Done. Done, done. And it cost me about $15 to ship that, by the way. So pretty healthy profit margin in there. And that was plunking down $100 on one thing to sell. But I only had to list one item, ship one item, and profit $200. So got to keep that in mind. I did a little test this past week that I wanted to share with you guys. I had 2 cameos listed at auction, and they were fairly similar. One was a little bigger than the other, but all things, you know, being as equal as they can be, I did a test. On the one, I started it at $299.95 with no reserve. The other one, I started at $9.95, but I put a reserve of, I believe, $350, which was still far less than it's worth because I went by the gold value on these. I had picked these both up at an auction, fully intending to do fixed price on them, but I thought this would be a fun little test. So the one that I had for $299.95 only got 5 watchers and 29 views. The one that I listed with the reserve at $9.95 had 23 watchers, 151 views, and the price, the bidding got up to $110.50. So it didn't meet my reserve. But what this told me was if you are willing to let something start at a much lower price than its value, you are going to get tons more traffic, not only to that listing, but I guarantee you they're probably looking at other stuff in your store. So this is where the whole concept of the loss leaders comes into play, and listing things at as low of a starting bid as you are comfortable with. I'm trying to pull up my current listings here because I'm running this experiment this week, and I actually have something. I'm pulling it up to see what the current bidding is at. So I showed you this piece a couple weeks ago. It was the antique hull, the wheat tea canister. You guys might remember me showing that to you. And I went ahead and I started that at auction at $9.95 start price with no reserve. Took a chance. I got nothing to lose. I didn't have that much into it. It ends tonight at a little after 7. And the bidding is up to $66 plus shipping. And I have 21 watchers on that item. Now, I have a couple other items that I started low that only have the opening bid. One of them is the green cloisonne vase. I also started that at $9.95, but I have 12 watchers on that item. and I've had 96 views. That's 96 people that have potentially gone to other items in my store. So even if that vase sells for $9.95, most likely it was the reason that I sold something else this week for a lot more money than I probably would have. So when I say loss leader, that's a really good example. Yep, I may not get the maximum price that I wanted for that vase, but because of having that listed and bringing in those almost 100 people, I've sold a lot more stuff out of my store than I would have. Yes, there are 3 people fighting over that canister. There's been 18 bids. So gotta love those little bidding wars. They still happen. I also have a teapot. It's that Tetsubin Tivana tea kettle. It's like a cast iron. I picked that up for $1 at a yard sale, only because it just looked interesting. And it's got 24 watchers, 14 bids, and it's up to $21.50. I suspect it's going to go a little higher before all is said and done. So yeah. So with auctions, lesson learned is be willing to start it as low as you can possibly start it. And yep, potentially sell something for less than it's worth, but it will drive traffic. Now, that's only if it's a desirable item. It's only if it's something that people are going to go, oh my gosh, they are selling this cheap. So Diana's saying only viewers only show up about 1 out of 10 times when I check my listings. How do you correct in eBay? I'm not sure what you're asking, Diana. I check my views over in my selling manager. Are you looking in your selling manager? That's the best place to keep track of all this. I see a number of watchers, number of bids, number of views, all that stuff, and what everything's at. Highly recommend Selling Manager. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there has been like some great comments you guys have been sharing about Bubble Fast. A lot of you have just kind of been trying them out for the first time. Bubble Fast, as you know, is a big supporter of the Danni app, and I am a big fan of theirs. I love their products. You will hear, yep, they're a little more expensive on some things, but I'll tell you what, if you're going to compare apples to apples, look at quality too, because especially their bubble wrap. I buy local bubble wrap sometimes when I wait too long to order, which I'm a procrastinator, what can I say? I am so unhappy every time I get bubble wrap locally because it's not the same quality as I get from Bubble Fast. Bubble Fast, I use half the amount of bubble wrap that I do from the stuff that I buy locally. The stuff locally is really thin. I have to use more of it. The Bubble Fast, it holds up. It's thick and just protects stuff so good. If you do use Bubble Fast from their website, it's bubblefast.com, and you can use the code DANNI, D-A-N-N-I, and get an extra little discount. Also, stamps.com. I know a lot of you have been checking out stamps.com's free for eBay sellers promotional, and we have a link now to get that free eBay account, which, yep, I did. I gave it to April. But pretty much with stamps.com, here's the great thing about if you pay for their service, anything you do at the post office, you can do from your computer. And they will send you a scale that plugs right into your computer. And as you put stuff onto weigh, it transmits that right in, helps you print your postage. You can print stamps, actual stamps, if you still mail out your bills and stuff. So I'm a big believer in stamps.com. I do have their paid version. Love them. And as you guys know, let's see, we had about a week until the postage rates go up. So if you were wanting to take a look at what those rate increases are going to look like over on the stamps.com blog, they do have the postage rate increase chart, which April is putting up in the chat room for us right now. So, yep, it's one of those things, happens every year. But hopefully your margins have been set ahead of time. You're ready for it, and this is not going to come as any huge shock. The biggest increases I'm seeing are with international, and if you're doing calculated, which I think pretty much everybody is or should be doing, it's just going to fall right into the calculations they're shown, and they will pay whatever it shows. Okay, sailing. I know we just got done talking about all this overwhelming inventory stuff, but yeah, I can't stay away. So what can I say? So I have been challenged a couple weeks ago. We went and myself and Martha went and did a little thrift shopping, and you guys challenged me to keep track of how long it takes me to actually get that stuff up and listed. So I can tell you it's not in the car anymore as it was the last time we talked. It's actually been brought in the house, and I've sorted it as to what is going to Amazon and what is being listed on eBay. And I'll just share a couple of things. Most of it is actually going to Amazon, I got to tell you, because I've been very focused on looking for that kind of stuff. But I got about, oh gosh, where's my little cheat sheet here that I had? I bury everything on my desk, you guys. It's crazy. So I got 3 packages of these. They are this particular toy dress that goes to this elephant. They're called ship shapes from the SS Happiness crew. I got 3 of these packages, so about 30 of them all in these packages, and I paid a dollar for each 10, so like 10 cents a piece. And what I found is they sell for $15 to $20 each on eBay. So that's going to be a piece of cake. One listing, 30 items. I learned something interesting in watching a video about the new Cassini that I'd never really given it much thought. Always when I've done a multi-quantity listing, I've just said how many I have. A new little tip here, guys. If you have 10, 20, 30 of something, don't put all your eggs in one basket of saying you have that many. Say you have 3 or 4. Reason being, when one of them sells, it looks like a much higher percentage selling ratio. So 1 of 3 items, that's like a 30% sell-through. Best Match really, really loves that. You can always go in, revise, and add quantity as you sell. But good to keep the Best Match happy and just keep adding to your quantity. I will test that with these, and I'll let you know how well that works. I'll let you know how well that works. What else did I get there? I got Sock Monkey. Sock Monkey, still hot commodity. So got Sock Monkey. This is brand new. It's got the matching mittens. I paid $3 because I got for half price. Still selling for about $30. And yes, I need to hurry up and get this listed while it's still cold. But we're going to turn $3 into 30. I got some Betty Boop. Betty Boop, always hot. She never loses style. Betty Boop's the girl. And the thrift store had these out. They had just put them out on their little Valentine's, display rack. They were $3.99 each, so I got them for basically $2 a piece. And they're going to sell for $25, $30. Now, while they're not exactly the same purse, I write the first one up, and then the next one is sell similar, change out the pictures, some of the words, boom, 2 listings up and running. I also found these little wooden prayer boxes, and that's all they are. They're just, little prayer boxes. little novelty item. They were $2.99 each, so they were $1.50 each, but I got 12 of them. So again, not a real high selling item, but since I only have to write it up once, they'll sell for 15 to 20 bucks a piece with free shipping. But you add that all up, it comes out to a really hefty profit margin for one listing. And they're going to be easy to ship. It's, a piece of bubble wrap thrown in a number 4 box. Boom, out the door. Okay. Always check the little packages on the wall. Little packages on the wall can be gold. I found 3 of these. These are Furminators, which is a dog grooming tool. Brand new in the package. They're selling them for $3.99. So I got them for $2 each, and they are going to go into Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, for about 25, 30 bucks a piece. And then they're done. Amazon handles them. And here's something that you'll probably run into every now and then, and if you didn't know what they were, you'd probably not know how good they were. Can't remember if this one is signed or not. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'll show you. So this is a Japanese doll. They're wood, they're painted, and these are kokishi dolls. Kokeshi. Some of them sell for crazy high amounts. I've never actually found one of those. The ones I find generally sell in the $50 to $100 range. But they're usually signed on the bottom. Yes, this was at a thrift store. You can see there's my Savers tag. It was priced kind of high, so they knew it was kind of a good item. I got it for half price, so I paid $7.50. And they're stamped is the way that they're signed usually. And this one, being it's a good size, it's in good shape, it's probably going to be in the $60 to $70 range. And they're just kind of a simple looking little doll. They come in kind of all shapes and sizes, but the key is they're wood, they're painted, and if they're signed, they're going to and you don't need to know who this artist was. You don't need to like research Japanese writing and all of that. Nope, you can just say signed. Whoever collects this will know who it's signed by. All right, so pick those up. Okay, and then who remembers me talking about and posting the pictures to that crazy mansion estate sale that I got the flyer for? Remember those pictures and all that really good stuff? Okay, so I didn't go on dealer weekend. I waited and went this past weekend, which was open to the general public. And it was a big disappointment. Oh my gosh. The house was really interesting. It was like they just added on pieces here, there, everywhere. Now, you can tell that they had some really good stuff probably in the beginning, but the stuff that was good was priced good too. So there was some things that I would have bought had the price been a little more reasonable, but for the most part, they were up there in price. What I did end up getting was 3 pairs of boots, which makes it all worthwhile. These right here are Dan Post ladies leather boots. They've been resold, but they're still in really good shape. Okay, we got those. We got these are, which ones are these? Okay, Banana Republic. Anybody read the newsletter this week? Let's see if you guys have been reading my newsletter. Nobody's reading my newsletter? Okay, there we go. So my daughter, Jordan, has started writing a little fashion article for me each week. She is my fashionista. She's the one who taught me everything I know about keeping up with the trends and what's hot and what's not. So I've asked her to start writing for the newsletter. So every week she's giving me another little tip and trick. And this week she wrote about boots and what style of boots are hot and all of that. So buckles, riding boots. So I saw these boots with the buckles and yeah, I thought, okay, that's right in line. And they're Banana Republic, which is also, I know, a really good brand. So I grabbed those. So these are the best ones. And Martha, you don't even know this yet. I've looked these up. These are, where did I write it down? Okay, these are Sam Edelman boots. Sam Edelman. Didn't know that when I bought them. I bought them purely because of my daughter's article and the style. They had buckles. Martha told me laces were in. So I'm like, hey, what the heck? And I figured the more boots I bought, the better the price they would give me. So they were asking $20 a pair, which still would have been a good deal. I got 3 pair for $50. So the Dan Post boots are going to sell in the $100, $125 range. The Banana Republic boots are going to sell in the $100, $125 range. Anybody want to guess what these are going to sell for? These Sam Edelmans that are like brand spanking new? You got it, at least $250 or up. Yeah, they're $400, $500, $600 boots. I was stunned. Martha, you knew that? You didn't grab them for yourself. You could have. I'd have let you. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my outing. The great thing is, you guys, I had fun. I shopped, and I create 3 listings. Everything that I bought is done, and I've made what? I mean, let me do the math here. You know me and math. What, $600, $700? I'll take that for a little hour's work. Yeah, so you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to fill up a shopping cart, although it's really, really fun, and I do it often. You don't have to. You can go out and be a picker. I mean, we went through that estate sale, and there was a lot of stuff that would have sold. Still stuff we could have picked up for under $5. It would have sold for $20 or $30. But it was that, gosh, I just don't need a ton of inventory. So being very, very picky and picking out something that would bring in the $100 plus range was actually really fun. Now, granted, we did end up going to Goodwill after that, and I got a couple bags full of plush. I'm telling you, it's just irresistible, isn't it? You just can't not do it. But hopefully Martha's going to be sharing soon her wonderful Alice in Wonderland tea set that she found at Goodwill. They had a whole set of Alice in Wonderland, the cups and saucers, cream, sugar, and the teapot without a lid. But even so, still pretty awesome set. Yeah, yeah. So I will always confess. I will always confess I am a real human being just like you guys. Temptation is hard to resist. Shopping is fun. What can I say? We will get it under control though, I'm telling you. So real quick, in our last couple of minutes, I wanted to get this in. There is going to be a brand new event being held down in Tucson, Arizona, which you guys might know is kind of my old home base. It is the TES conference, and you can go there. April's going to post the URL. There is registration is open. It is $45, which is insanely cheap. That includes your lunch. That includes the entire day's conference, which starts early in the morning and goes till 5 p.m. And then there is an after dinner, which is going to include a live band and lots of just having fun. You are going to get to see people like Griff and eBay Andy, and many of you know Sandy Garcia and Sharon Ware. This is being arranged by Sally Milo. those who don't know, Sally Milo has done all of my store design. She is a fabulous designer. If anybody wants a custom store, she is your gal. I love working with Sally. Oh yeah, I'll be speaking there if anybody wants to come and see and meet me in person. And I am getting there a few days ahead of time, and I am staying after. Anybody who wants to travel accordingly and go shopping with me, we're going to be doing some of that. Will there be dancing? I imagine there will be. And maybe some more videos getting put out there on YouTube like there was in Kansas. So highly, highly recommend that. It is March 23rd, which is a Saturday. There is an airport in Tucson. Easy to get in and out of, or it's a little cheaper to fly into Phoenix, but it's about an hour and a half drive down to Tucson. So however you wanted to do that. But I would highly recommend this event. If you wanted something, it's going to be tapped out at 200 people, so it's not going to be a huge event. They are going to limit the amount of people that are going to be there. But I can tell you, it is going to be a blast. Are infants allowed? Well, I got to tell you, my daughter is trying to come, and she has her little one. So, yeah, we can probably sneak some of you in there with kidlets. Shh, don't tell them I said that. Of course, I'm sure that you would use discretion if you needed to leave the room for something. But yeah, I'd imagine a baby's going to be allowed in the room as long as discretion is used. I have to say that because I want my daughter to go. Yeah, there is a tequila video out there. We were not drinking that night. I will tell you, there was no alcohol in the room. It was just a lot of fun. But the song was Tequila, and myself and Kat Simpson got up and yeah, we were with the band that night. Let's just say that. A lot of fun. They have these inflatable instruments. I had the saxophone, and Kat had the guitar, and we kind of like took over. So it was a lot of fun. Yes, Debbie, Tucson does have an airport to fly into. They absolutely do. And I believe the place where this is being held is really, really close to the airport. Yes, Southwest flies into Tucson. Absolutely. It's a really, really easy airport to get in and out of too. Yep, 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 yep. All right, so over at the membership, we are getting ready to start working on our business plans for the year. Still time to get in on that. I'll have April put I've been hiding comments here. How do you get in touch with Sally? Shoot me an email if you want to get in touch. But there is to get to the URL is tesconference.com. April, if you could throw that back up on the screen for me. See if she'll put it up there real quick so you can link to it real easy. You can register right there. There we go. So there's your URL if you wanted to go over and register and get in on that. I'm sure Sally would be most appreciative. And that's about all we have time for tonight. Wow, I just looked over the clock. We're running over. So I could keep talking all night. You guys know that. So thank you for being here. Look for me over at the Facebook group, the Danni App, and the DanniApp.com. We are updating the website on a daily basis now. So there's always going to be something new on the front page. I have got my mom, Bobby Bushy, many of you know, is writing for me now and talking from the perspective of someone who is retired and doing eBay. My daughter is now writing for me, and she's going to be talking from the aspect of being a mom, a work-at-home mom, and juggling family and working. And then, of course, I've got Jordan writing about the fashion stuff. So we're going to keep you at all angles with all the good stuff that's going on out there. So thank you all for being here, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.